Hello everyone, happy March 2021. This is going to be your general reading for March 2021. I just wanted to do a little intro this month where I can use the same clip over and over instead of having to do this each and every single reading. It gets old after a while having to repeat the same stuff. So hope you don't mind. Sorry these are coming out so late. Extra late, more than usual. It's because I started to go a little bit getting cabin fever really bad. It's been a while since I've left town, and so I decided to take my daughter with me out of town for a long weekend, just to experience something different. We needed to do that. It's been a long time since I've done anything special with her, and we needed to get out of town. So hopefully you understand. Some of you may totally understand or kind of in a similar boat. It's been a rough year for everyone. So I just wanted to let you guys know that, of course, the name of the sign that I'm doing is in the description of the video itself in the title, but I'm also going to announce the sign that this is for right after this little intro part. This reading is meant for if you have your rising, sun, moon, or Venus in the sign that I'm going to say after this. This reading may or may not resonate for you. It might be one of those things where some of it resonates strongly, other parts may not. That is up to you to know. And if it doesn't resonate, maybe try out your moon or your rising sign readings. See if any of those resonate more. Also, I wanted to say that this month for March, I'm going to do the signs in the order of the most views from last month. And so it's going to be a spattering of different signs in no order. It's just going to go along with how many views I got. So I believe the biggest views or the most views for a video last month were for Taurus, so I'm going to start with them and so on. And if you are interested in a private reading with me, my email is in the description box down below, along with the names of the decks I'm using. I'm actually really excited because I have a new deck. I managed to score this used online. I guess it must be out of print or hard to find. I looked everywhere for it, but I was only able to find it used, which is great. It's less money that way, and it's in pretty mint condition. So I think you'll find this deck interesting. I'm really excited about it, actually. It's very different. You'll see. It's called the Everyday Enchantment Tarot. And of course, I'm going to use a few other decks for clarifiers. So I'll see you in a second. Let me think for a moment. Did I say everything? Feel free to like, comment, and subscribe if you feel like. If for some reason some of you watching have been watching me for quite some time, but have not subscribed, I mean, obviously I'm not going to tell you what to do, but if you feel like it, maybe you could just go ahead and subscribe. You would definitely get more notifications of when the videos are coming out, or just more information. All right, I'll see you in a couple of seconds. Happy March, you guys. The energy feels different for sure for March. I'm still trying to figure it out. It feels very changeable or watery, maybe because we have so many things in Pisces this month. It's a Pisces month after all. So it definitely feels a little bit more fluid and a little softer than last month, but I'm not going to make any promises. It's just the beginning. So, all right, see you in a few seconds. Take care. Bye. Hello, Capricorn. This is going to be your general tarot reading for March 2021. Uh-oh, I just noticed that some of these are upside down. And so if you would like to skip through this part and just go straight to the beginning of the reading, there is a timestamp down below in the description box that you can click on, and it will take you straight to the beginning of the reading instead of sitting through this part. It looks like the rest of them are upright. Okay. Let's see what comes out for you Capricorn people for March 2021. Yeah, the rest of them are all upright. I guess it was just that one card. Okay. All right. 11 cards. One, two. Something there is wanting to come out. Three, four, five, six, seven, 8, 9, 10, 11. Okay. Ah. Okay. Before I start, I'm going to pick a few clarifiers. That one wants to go there. Okay, and tell me a little bit more, please. Just in case if you guys have ever wondered who I'm asking when I ask for clarifiers, I'm actually asking my own guides and I'm asking the collective, you guys' guides. As in your spirit guides. Or I suppose some people call them guardian angels. For some people, their angels are their ancestors or people in their family who have passed away, or even soulmates, twin flames, or people that are spirits that are extremely close to us from past lifetimes that decided to remain in spirit form this time around. Just figured I'd let you know in case anyone's ever been curious. All right, if you could tell me a little bit more about this. That doesn't answer my question. Let's see. Huh. All right. Yeah, I'm not getting a clear answer, so I'll try my best. Okay. Keep in mind this reading may or may not resonate for you, or there may be certain parts of the reading that are for you and other parts that are for other people. I know sometimes it's a little bit confusing for me being the reader, is because sometimes the messages come out really clear and other times it's a jumble of different kinds of messages and it's hard to sift through them all or make sense out of all of them. Okay. Your central energy for March. Excuse me. 2021 is Major Arcana, the High Priestess. You seem like you are going through almost slipping in and out of possibly even some energies that are akin to altered states. It's almost like the veil is thin for you in March, where things are coming up to your consciousness from your subconscious more easily in March than possibly some other times. Traditionally, this is a card that is ruled by the moon. But I'm also getting strong Neptune energy or Pisces energy in this for some reason. I mean, the seven seas and the moon are very much symbiotic with each other. And so, or perhaps somebody watching is a moon in Pisces or someone you're dealing with. But wow, I mean, you have the High Priestess, Major Arcana. You have revelation. Something is being revealed to you. Revelation. Or something is being brought to your consciousness that before was hidden. You have recognition, which also has the moon in it. I don't know why, but maybe it's her mirror that's making me think of mermaids and her long hair and the colors in here. To me, it seems as though the mirror that she's holding is reflecting the moon, as well as the puddle that is in front of her. It's reflecting the moon. There's something about this that is being revealed or illuminated to you. And the moon is in this. And the moon is in mystery. Mystery. And here's a mermaid. You have resilience. You may have a revelation this month that completely changes your own internal depths or changes your subconscious. I'm getting something in here about dreams. Maybe for someone you have a, a reoccurring dream that is a mystery to you. Something about this dream or this reoccurring dream needs to be revealed. It's like you might even have a dream that something is literally concealed or behind a door or behind a wall or behind a curtain. I'm even getting somebody has been having a dream where you are trying to look behind the curtain. Or something about this curtain could be a metaphor for the veils that separate the different dimensions, worlds, realms, subconscious, superconscious, conscious. There's something that is accessible to you in March that normally is off limits or is behind a veil, and normally you are not consciously aware of these things. It seems as though you have been resilient in some kind of an emotional situation that has had elements of it of unsurety or things not being certain or things being mysterious. Maybe you've been trying to figure out who someone actually is. Maybe someone or a situation to you is a mystery and you're trying to get to the bottom of it, or you're trying to figure out what's actually happening. Or this could even be a mystery from your past that you are trying to get more clarity on. And you have been resilient in this, in seeking answers. I feel like this mermaid is seeking something, or she's going towards something. She's been resilient in seeking either information or knowledge or a vision or something. But because recognition is in here, it seems as though you suddenly, finally, after a long period of time, see what is actually happening, or you recognize what is happening, or you recognize something about yourself. Something is revealed to you that changes your entire internal world. Maybe if you, and this could also be a connection with another person. There might have been a person in your life that has been a mystery, but you feel almost magnetically drawn to them, where you want to figure out what this energy is. It's like you feel there's something about them that you recognize, and you're trying to get to the bottom of what exactly this is, or what this bond is, or who this person really is. I'm getting a lot about nighttime here. So maybe your dreams are really profound in March, or you're having a hard time sleeping, and most of your revelations, intuitions, what's the word? Illuminations happens for you at night, where you're pumped at night. You can't sleep at night because all these things are becoming clear to you or being revealed to you. It seems like it goes really, really, really deep. I'm losing words here. Like, I don't even really know how to describe what I'm getting. This seems so mystical to me. Maybe your psychic abilities are increasing threefold or tenfold than usual. Or you're noticing things, certain things more. Or in figuring out a mystery, even if you think about silly mystery movies, you know, you have to look at the clues. You have to look at the little clues that are left behind and then somehow try to piece them together as if it's a puzzle to figure out what might have happened in a mystery situation. I'm getting like a Sherlock Holmes vibe from this. This might have to do with a prominent woman, whether it's a sister or a friend or something, or they disappeared, you're not sure where they are, or you're receiving recognition for bringing some much needed information to a situation that is a mystery for other people. I don't know why, but I'm getting that somebody watching you might have witnessed something that would be important information towards some kind of an unsolved mystery, or something that has happened that people need more clarity on. For some reason, you might be worried that people are going to come after you if you do this. It's scary because you want to make sure you are safe, and that you're not opening up a giant Pandora's box that could affect you in a negative way. But you also feel responsible, and you also feel like it's your obligation to speak of these things or to reveal these things. Let me see if I get anything else, because that is probably the most mysterious central energy I've ever seen before, and it's hard for me to get to any specifics about it. What is all of this implying? Or how can I interpret this in a more practical sense? trust your intuition no matter what. Pay attention to what you receive. And if this is a solving of a riddle for you or a solving of a mystery, even within your own being, something about recognizing what is actually happening here is going to change your internal world. Like, either you'll finally understand the message of the reoccurring dream, and so you won't have to have the reoccurring dream anymore. I think the main reason why reoccurring dreams happen is because there's some kind of lesson or some kind of message in it that we are not getting. And so it keeps on showing up, and it keeps on showing up, and it keeps on repeating itself because it needs to be dealt with or needs to be understood in order for you to evolve, or for your subconscious to evolve. Let's put it that way. So if you finally understand something that before eluded you, it seems as though it's going to change your internal world dramatically, where either you won't be having those dreams anymore, or you will finally be able to recognize the patterns involved in that and be able to move beyond it. Okay, give me some kind of a practical idea of what this is saying. Trust. Yeah, I feel like for whatever reasons, I am not supposed to figure this out. It is your mystery to figure out. And whatever this is, it feels very profound, very deep, and very personal. It may not be something that you can really share with too many people. Or you could, but they probably wouldn't be able to understand because it is so personal. But trust the process, trust that it's happening for a reason, trust your own intuition, trust your perceptions in this matter. Trust what is revealed to you as not being an illusion. I'm not getting anything about illusions in here. So, interesting. All right. So your challenge is the Knight of Blades. You may be challenged this month by somebody who is very difficult to communicate with. This might be someone who is simply just not mature enough yet or experienced enough yet to realize how they're affecting situations. This could be even something simple, like somebody just has a completely different way of communicating than you do, or a completely different mentality than you do, and so you just naturally clash with each other. It's not necessarily that they're in the wrong or you're in the wrong, you're just very different. And for whatever reasons, your associate or energy between you and this person is very discordant and is not harmonious. Or you may feel as though someone is overriding you, or talking over you when you talk, or not listening to you when you talk, or interrupting constantly, or constantly flippantly telling you their opinion. They may be an overly opinionated person, or someone who focuses a lot on gossip, or on a surface level, they can be very entertaining and they can be very funny, but on a deeper level, it can be considered very hurtful to certain people because this person is not thinking about how what they are joking about could actually be somebody's personal experience and therefore be a huge trigger for them. This could be something going on in a family or at work, or I suppose it could even be in a relationship. Let me find out more about it. Let's see. Tell me more. Tell me more about the Knight of Blades in their challenged position. Whoa. They're falling all over the place. There it is again. Look at that. That is so strange. Okay. Okay. I see. There might be something in here where you are struggling with trust in people and in situations. Because look, you got a second trust. You have two trusts in here. Two trusts. I feel like you need to trust uncertainty or uncertain situations more than you are. The woman who is getting the haircut, she looks like she doesn't trust this hairdresser. She is possibly afraid that he is going to completely ruin her hair. Or he might be gossiping or repeating some kind of weird information that he heard just to pass the time while he's doing her hair. And something about what he says snaps her into a state of panic. Maybe it's something involving her or something involving something that triggers her in some way. Or she doesn't completely trust this person to do her hair, or she's afraid that he's going to ruin it. Even if energies around you or situations or people or a person is energy that you naturally just kind of clash with. Let's say one of you is extremely quiet and very reserved or very proper, or it believes in having manners, and the other person is very brusque, very rude, or considered at times to be rude, or just very mouthy. And so these or one is very conservative and one is very free thinking or outside of the box or different in some way. You might be struggling in March with feelings of distrust and trust, where you need to trust the situation as happening for a reason. There may be more going on in March than meets the eye. It seems as though Spirit is setting some things up for you to either recognize something in this situation or recognize something in you where you need to trust more. It could be that he is going to do a great job with her hair and she is wasting her energy and emotional energy worrying when there's no cause for worry, even though he might be a little bit rude or a different personality than she's used to, doesn't mean that he's going to ruin her hair. And with this trust is expression. Trust your own expression in things, or trust others' expression in things. Trusting your own capacity for expression. Trusting that you will not be misunderstood or cast aside if you express yourself. And we could flip this, where let's use the metaphor of you are the Knight of Blades, or you are this hairdresser. He is very different. This makes her feel a little bit nervous, but he is trusting. This hairdresser is trusting in his ability to create an amazing haircut because this is one of his talents, or this is what he loves to express, is styles, fashion, doing hair. He might be extraordinarily talented at what he does. Who cares if he's a personality that you don't always understand? At least he can do the job right and possibly even exceed what regular hairdressers are capable of. Or he has some kind of a vision that he's able to express that is different or unique. And this could be you. You may be learning to not care how other people perceive you, or not to take to heart people's reactions. because a lot of times that's their thing. It's not necessarily a reflection of you, it's a reflection of what is going on with them, and you don't have to take this personally. You know, when you're out and about freely expressing yourself or doing something that means a lot to you, other people may have reactions that can make you feel a little bit nervous, like, oh gosh, you know, am I going to be accepted? Or are these people, is this situation going to accept me for who I am, or realize that they are a damp rag on me, or they're bringing my energy down? But you don't have to let it get to you. And there might be something in here about trusting the fact that you need to express yourself no matter what. If you do have to deal with other people's reactions and it's somehow a trigger for you or brings up insecurities for you, remember that this is all about reflections. She's holding a mirror that is reflecting the moon. The puddle is reflecting the moon. This is about reflections. You may be sensitive at this time where it's easy for other people's reflections of you to get to you, but you need to realize that it goes both ways. It can reflect parts of you, or they could be reflecting parts of you, but it could also, their behavior could be reflecting parts of themselves, and it actually has nothing to do with you. And so I would say just go ahead and express yourself anyway. Okay, so what is helping you is the Ace of Blades. Okay, so in this situation, there is a dog that looks like he's getting surgery. There's actually a fairy here that is comforting the dog. He's probably knocked out on some kind of drugs where he's not conscious for the surgery, but she is comforting him on a spiritual level. And they are looking at probably what looks like this dog's spine. Maybe he has a prolapsed disc or something's gone on with his back end. Maybe they're looking over options for how to possibly do some corrective surgery or improve his situation where he doesn't end up paralyzed, or where what is wrong with him can be fixed. The Ace of Blades, this can be a decision, and this can be a beginning of a new way of understanding things. Maybe what's helping you is to realize that a situation can be fixed, and to make a decision on what needs to be adjusted or fixed in the situation in order for it to be in its healthiest form. This could be something literal, like somebody you care about, or a beloved animal, or has something going on that they need to have diagnosed or corrected, possibly through surgery or some kind of medical procedure. But it is not bad. It's not going to it is able to be corrected. Or you may be finally accepting something, or something is revealed to you that you realize needs to be addressed, or needs to be talked about, or needs to be decided upon, that perhaps before you were in denial about, or you were hoping that it didn't come down to that, or there was something going on but you had no idea what it was. But now it seems as though it's being figured out. Let me pick more on this. Tell me more about the Ace of Blades and what's helping them. You finally recognize something that is happening, or something is revealed to you that before was a mystery. or you receive good news, possibly. Let's see. Focus. I'm putting that one back in. I'm going to try again. Tell me more about the Ace of Blades. This could be something that you are studying or learning about, or an understudy on, or a student. You might be being instructed on something. You might be training. Let's see. Freedom. Discernment. It's funny, you have the word revelation in here of a woman wearing a mask. Maybe she reveals her face and takes the mask off. And you also have recognition. Looks like not this little person, but this person is wearing a mask. Looks like Venetian masks. And now with the Ace of Blades, you have discernment, which is also wearing a mask. And, gee, this looks familiar. These two doctors or veterinarians are wearing medical masks. So it seems as though something is revealed. You recognize something that you didn't see before. Something before was a mystery. It seems as though you received the information that you need, or you receive some kind of a message, or someone sends you a message. In order for this dog to run free or to exercise his freedom, this thing needs to be addressed first. Something needs to be addressed so that it can be adjusted or fixed or dealt with before you can completely be free. Or you may be studying something. You have focus. Obviously, veterinarians need to be extremely focused on what they're doing because they could affect this dog negatively if they were not focused. Surgery is a big deal. X-rays are a big deal. You have to really focus in on the diagnosis or what is actually happening in order to better the situation or help the situation. There might be something that you are learning. You may be in training metaphorically to be a veterinarian or to have a profession in a particular field, whatever that might be. And this involves you to be able to focus on these things. But also you need a certain amount of freedom to dance, to have physical exercise, to have flexibility. You not only need to study and focus, but you also need to blow off steam when you are not in the middle of doing that, so that both parts of you are healthy. You might have two jobs. One job might be more physical and the other job might be more mental. And so both aspects of you are being exercised. You need to be discerning about this somehow. Let me see if I can get a little bit more using this deck. Let me see. Focus, freedom, and discernment. Discerning when to focus on your freedom and when to focus. Discernment on when do you play and when do you work. or that an idea will come to you, and then you being able to focus on whatever it is that you are doing or producing will happen a lot easier or effortlessly. The Tower. That was unexpected. Maybe something needs to crumble in order for you to have freedom. Maybe an old, I see. It could be old training that is getting in the way, or old things that you were taught on how things functioned. Maybe, okay, let me give you a hypothetical story that could be considered a metaphor. Let's say that once upon a time you had medical training. Perhaps you were a doctor, perhaps you were a nurse, perhaps you were in the medical field somehow. And over time, you realize that even though the medical world has had great achievements and discovered a great deal of number of things that can help people's lives, you've realized that it doesn't address certain things, or it doesn't. It may be focusing more on fixing the symptoms rather than the cause, or that there needs to be more empathy involved in medical situations. And so your whole medical training may have had some aspects to it that you have come to realize were false, or were too systematic, or too mechanical, rather than handling the spiritual side of things or the emotional side of things, or how possibly all of our bodies are connected. Our mental body, our emotional body, our physical body, our spiritual body, they are one and the same. They're multi-layered, connected bodies. And so when one thing is going on one body, it's probably occurring on several other bodies. Your emotional body, if you've been in a chronic, let's give an example of if you're in a chronic depressed state, this can actually manifest in health problems later on. Or if you are constantly holding on to grief, it can create major back problems. It can create mysterious illnesses that are hard to diagnose because it is coming from a different level. Not to say that it's not real and can't be treated. It's just that some illnesses, it's like just when you address it from this symptom, all of a sudden it reappears in a different part of the body, or it's a mysterious illness that is hard to figure out. And unfortunately, sometimes in the medical profession, there are doctors that will literally tell you it's in your head and you're imagining it when actually there is something happening. And so let's say this person, or analogy of a doctor who or a nurse or somebody in the medical world, has come so far with it that now they are realizing that they want to express this in a different way and have more freedom on how they treat things. Then they may go into alternative health, or studying Chinese medicine or Chinese herbs, or many different, this could even be in the psychological world. If somebody went to medical school to learn about how to become a psychiatrist or a counselor, it's a very clinical, 3D, very systematic way of understanding healing or health. And so this type of training can be extremely valuable, but it can also be extremely limited. And so this old tower of how you thought about things, how you were trained in things, how you came to understand things, is now kind of crashing, where perhaps if you're a counselor, instead of going with your original training, you may be trying different methods, like possibly the tapping technique, or I think it's called EMDR. There are many other methods of things that you can try to dabble with, understand more, or even integrate in with what you already know. And keep in mind, this is a metaphor. So This could be applied to any number of things for you, but it seems as though your mind is changing and you are aware of a completely new way of understanding things that is more holistic, because something about the old method is no longer working, or is not completely sound, or your ideas are shattered. Something else is revealed that blows your mind, that may open up different ways of understanding something, or expressing something, or even adjusting something for the better, where you are actually able to do your job even better because of this. Willing for things like experimentation, or opening up your mind to different possibilities, where you are no longer so regimented or so held into a particular system. So that's what's helping you. And also to use discernment too, to discern, okay, which things about what you've been taught are still valuable, which things about what you've been taught have proved themselves to you to be false or not your cup of tea. To be discerning in a situation. Otherwise, you could have had something crash, but if it did, it was meant to. Okay? So, in your instincts, you have the Six of Cups. It's really important for you to remember the good times, remember the simpler times, remember times when you were more innocent, or you were surrounded with just the happier times, or nostalgia, or happy memories from the past. Or this can be wanting to bring the sweetness and the innocence back. You know, wanting to take time out to be able to nurture situations like this, where you are not only creating happy memories for yourself, but possibly happy memories for a group of people, or other people, or another. You might be remembering someone who meant a lot to you, that has shaped a lot of your values, who always encouraged you, always tried their best to make sure that they made your life interesting or fun. Or you also want to bring this out more, where you can practice this more, spend more time with friends, family, people you enjoy the company of, instead of being so isolated or busy with other things. Let me get more on that. Tell me more about the Six of Cups. You want the feeling of companionship back again, or fun again, or something is illuminated to you about the past. This is a minor message. It may not be for you, but try not to become trapped in the past. Yeah, there's something, you're really longing for companionship here. I feel as though you've been too alone, or you've been too quiet, or you feel alone where you are, and you miss better times in the past where you felt surrounded by love, or by companionship, or happy memories. So you have solitude. You may have been alone too much, or you may be needing to take time out in order to, again, here's the moon. You may need solitude in order for certain things to become clear to you. But at the same time, you don't want to be so full of solitude that you forget that there's a part of you that really needs this. There might be something going on where you feel as though you can't talk to anybody about it. When you remember times past where you were surrounded by people that you could talk to about these things, you may really miss somebody or miss a situation that you used to have. You may have actually been raised in a way that is very different or very spiritual or very old soul sort of a family or very intricate. And so you may be coming from a place that in the mundane world not a whole lot of people understand, or they were more raised in more conventional ways. For instance, let's say hypothetically you had a parent who was pagan, or you had a parent who was a psychic, or a parent who was outside of the box for the times that they grew up in. Maybe they were one of the first, maybe your mom was super into and involved with women's liberation, or or your parents were gay, or you were raised by a single mom where in that neighborhood for those times in that city or town was not a regular thing and was considered different or odd. Now it's almost commonplace, but something about your upbringing, or you were taught certain things that not everyone is taught. There's wisdom. Or you are an old soul or come from a family of old souls where you guys understood things in a completely different way, or there were completely different conversations around the dinner table than most families have. Maybe you guys freely talked about things like ESP or different kinds of religions, or your parents were Buddhists when everyone else was Christian, or you get what I'm saying here. And you may really miss this. You feel out of place. You may even come from a long line of psychics. I mean, you may have had past lifetimes of being a priestess or a priest of some kind of order that was different. Or you were taught shamanism or paganism or druidism or something really interesting. Or you were raised with hardly any, what do you call it? In a minimalistic fashion, where maybe perhaps as a child you didn't have a whole lot of toys, or you spent the majority of your childhood tromping around outside and in nature rather than just something about you or the memories that you have, possibly from your childhood or how you were raised, or is very different or considered different. And it may be hard to relate to other people. I mean, obviously, you're always going to find kindred spirits or people around you that also have extremely different backgrounds. And not everyone is raised in a mundane way. But something about this you really miss, or you wish to continue what you were taught, or something about how you were raised you wish to carry these traditions forward and possibly do these for your own children now, or there's something about it that you really miss. This could even be a community that you were a part of. And now you're in a different place where the majority of people are not really like that, and it's hard to recreate this. Okay. In the recent past, you have the Ace of Cups. Traditionally, in other decks, this could be realizing that you're falling in love with someone, or this could be the beginning of love, or the beginning of feelings, catching feelings, as they say. Or it could simply be something like your heart chakra is being opened up. You feel a lot of love. You feel the potential and joy of something new, a new feeling stirring in your heart that can bring inspiration to your life. Or you feel as though you are able to bring something forward for other people that helps them to open up their hearts, or something about you coaching or encouraging others to express themselves or to feel good about themselves makes you feel really good. This could be a new idea, a new situation, a new feeling is starting. You're starting to feel more accepted or understood, or you are not completely alone. Yeah, you are not completely alone. You do have, if you if you need for your own mental health, if you need to get away from being so alone, you definitely have potentials for being able to spend time with people you enjoy the company of or that make you feel good or you make them feel good. There is support there. Let's see. Tell me more about the Ace of Cups. Ride the waves. You may have accomplished something where you're being recognized for your talents, or you have new inspiration when it comes to your talents. You may have received some kind of an award or been acknowledged or have a newspaper article written about you or receive publicity in something where you're riding the waves of acknowledgement by others of your capacities or your talents or who you are. And this could simply just be riding the waves of confidence in your own abilities and feeling supported by people around you. This could even be like a small claim to fame or something to do with possible quick fame where you draw the eye of people all of a sudden over something, or you're acknowledged for something that you do publicly, or riding the waves of new love in your heart. Okay,